All right, are you ready for some football? That's an inside joke, by the way. The football is an inside joke. But, with the guy at work. But anyway, here we go. We got Fantasy Football with Mclovein. For those of you who have no idea what the hell this show's about, you're retarded. Pay attention to my videos. For those of you who are just watching it for the first time, you're not retarded. Still pay attention to my videos. Here's how this is going to work. This is an interesting thing we're going to be doing every single week. We're able to get Mclovein, who has worked both in the NFL and the collegiate level, in here to answer any questions or comments you have about football, your fantasy teams, what's going on, also picks and things like that. If you're an active sports gambler and you need some advice, he'll tell you how to get a hold of him as far as that goes. He has this whole thing worked out with a bunch of people over many states, and he does really well. So the deal is, listen to him when it comes to that. I certainly will be. I'll be starting today, just so I'll be right along with you guys. But this is how the format of the show is going to work. At first, we're going to be talking briefly about college football, unless you guys have questions or specific questions or comments if you're betting college football. But he's gonna do his 3 picks of the week, I guess you could say.
College
football, and then we're going right into the questions and comments about your fantasy teams. Mclovein's gonna go over his picks versus the spread of all the NFL games, and then me and Mclovein will be going over our just pick them straight up as well. So first and foremost, why don't you go into what you do, what the service you provide?
Okay, guys, Mclovein here again. Welcome back. I cannot wait for football to get going. It's the best thing ever in the world. Starting tomorrow night, we've already had a week of college football. Like I told you last week, South Carolina with the cover over North Carolina was a big win for us to get going on this year's college football. Now, what I have for you guys, okay, is my email address, okay? It's Mclovein73323, okay? That's going to come in handy in a little bit. I'm going to tell you why. I have a certain number of clients out there all over New England.
At what? Mclovein7, whatever that was.
Oh, at mail.com. I'm sorry.
Mail.com. So let's repeat that email address.
Mclovein73323 at mail.com. Okay? So what I'm going to do for you guys is, since, this is the channel here, I'm going to give you a free week of bets that I send out to all my top clients. These guys are betting $500, $700, $1,000, $1,500, and they make money, and I tell them who to bet, okay? That's a main form of my income, is being a handicapper. And I'm going to allow you guys a week free from the day you email me, okay? Then going forward, if you want to continue to make money, continue to do my business, then we can go from there. All I want you to know is that I'm going to make you money. Bottom line, I guarantee hitting 55 to 60%. Guaranteed. If you don't get 55 to 60%, you get your money back. That's how confident I am, and that's why I have so many people that use my handicap. And like I said, I've been involved in the NFL and college football. I know all the ins and outs. I watch the tape. I understand the defenses. Whether a team's playing a cover 2 or a 3-4 defense, or can you run against this linebacker? Okay, I study that stuff. All you guys have to do is just take what I tell you and just bet on it, and you're gonna win. Okay, it's that easy. Okay, so contact me at that email, Mclovein73323 at mail.com. Shoot me an email. We'll get you started. And then after the week, you can see how much money I can make you. We can go from there. But free week for all of our viewers here today.
All right. Let's go into your 3 picks of the week for college football. So for those of you who like to gamble, listen to this advice. And Mclovein's going to go over his top 3 picks of the week here, college football-wise.
So, upcoming Saturday. All right, the big play, and it's a Saturday night, 9 p.m. on ABC. Okay, Michigan State versus Oregon. Okay, Michigan State is a 3.5-point favorite. Okay, or 4. If you can get it at 3.5, get it at 3.5. Always. That hook will always come back to bite you if you don't get the hook, okay? Hook meaning an extra 0.5, an extra half a point. Guys, Michigan State is ramped, ready to go this year, okay? Oregon still creates a lot of different matchups in the offense that they can score fast and can score in a hurry. Yet their quarterback for Oregon played Division II football last year, okay? That itself, Michigan State's going to win, and they're definitely going to cover the spread. I see Michigan State winning by 10, 12 points in this game, okay? So my first pick to give you guys for free is Michigan State minus 3.5. Next one, Cincinnati versus Temple, which is Saturday night at 8 o'clock on ESPN News, all right? I got Cincinnati minus the 6.5 against Temple. Temple's coming off a huge win against Penn State. You know, one of the biggest wins in school history. To beat a team like Penn State, they whooped the shit out of them, sacked them 10 times, okay? Cincinnati's at home. They're on Saturday night. It's a home opener. They're going to come out firing. They're going to beat the shit out of Temple. They're going to cover the 6.5 spread. My third game, Maryland, okay, is playing Bowling Green on Saturday at noontime. Maryland's a 7.5 point favorite. We're going to roll the dice with Maryland, okay? Maryland, Bowling Green's down this year. They lost a lot of talent last year. Maryland's only getting better. Maryland's going to run all over these guys. So my 3 picks for you guys is Michigan State minus the points, whether it's 3.5, 4. Cincinnati minus the 6.5 against Temple, and Maryland minus the 7.5 against Bowling Green.
So pay attention to what he just said. Those are your 3 picks of the week from Mclovein as far as college football goes. Okay. Let's go into the comments/questions. All right, we're going to start off on YouTube. Obviously, all week I've been telling you guys to email, comment on these videos and /email me. So we're going to go right into that. Here we go. The first is a comment on YouTube, or a question on YouTube. It says this. Now, you might want to write this down as I go over this so you can visually see what we're talking about. Mike Powell says, I just want to know your thoughts or suggestions on my FF picks.
Yep.
He did an auto draft from ESPN.
Okay.
At first glance, it depresses the hell out of me. Here they are. So, round 1 with the 8th pick, Matt Forte, running back.
Great pick.
Round 2, 13th pick, Des Bryant, wide receiver.
That's a steal.
Round 3, Alfred Morris, running back. 28th pick.
Okay.
Round 4 with the 33rd pick, Carlos Hyde, running back.
Okay.
Round 5, 48th pick, Golden Tate, wide receiver.
Okay.
Round 6, tell me if I'm going too fast.
Nope.
Round 6 with the 53rd pick, Latavius Murray, running back.
Okay.
Round 7 with the 68th pick, Jason Witten, tight end.
Okay.
Round 8, 73rd pick, Allen Robinson, wide receiver.
Okay.
Round 9, 88th pick, Tevin Coleman, running back.
Okay.
Round 10, 93rd pick, Bishop Sankey, running back.
Okay.
Round 11, 108th pick, I think this is a steal, but I don't know as much as you do, Tony Romo, quarterback.
Wow.
And the 108th pick of the draft. Round 12, 113th pick, Pierre Garçon, wide receiver.
Uh-huh.
Round 13 with the 128th pick, Jonas Gray, running back. Well, he just got cut.
Yep.
Now he's on the Dolphins practice squad. Round 14 with the 133rd pick, Dolphins D/ST, D/ST.
Okay.
What is that, defense / what?
Special teams.
Special teams, all right.
Yeah.
So you got the Dolphins defense and special teams.
Okay.
Is that what he did?
Yep.
Round 15 with the 148th pick, Justin Tucker, kicker.
Okay.
Round 6, it should be Justin Tuck, isn't it? Or is it Justin Tucker?
No, it's Justin Tuck. Justin Tuck's a defensive lineman.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Round 16, 153rd pick, Lions, defense and special teams.
Okay.
Round 17 with the 168th pick, Phillip Rivers, quarterback. Surprised he went that low.
Yeah.
Round 18 with the 173rd pick, Packers head coach. And it says Packers coach HC. What the hell that means.
They drafted Mike McCarthy?
Apparently.
Okay.
Round 19 with the 188th pick, Carl Schmitz, punter.
Okay. Yeah, so this league has punters. I've never heard that before. Is that the?
It says P, so I assume punter.
Okay. Well, if you guys have the punter, that's fantastic. First of all, you got 2 steals out of the gate, getting Matt Forte that early and getting Des Bryant on the way back, okay? Des Bryant is if not the best, the second, third best receiver in the NFL. He's going to consistently get you 80 grabs a year. He's going to consistently get you 8 to 11 touchdowns a year, and he's going to consistently get you numerous yards. He's a 1,1500 yard guy, okay? Which also will come in with handy with your team. You got Tony Romo. So Tony Romo and Des Bryant, you're going to double in your fantasy points every single week because they're both going to excel. All right, so that's great. Alfred Morris is a question mark, but you got a number of different running backs that you can come back with. Carlos Hyde is going to be the bell cow in San Francisco. He's a very good running back. Golden Tate can stretch the field. Golden Tate's the number 2 receiver for the Lions. You got Calvin Johnson, who's healthy, and you got Golden Tate, who's the second option. So he's going to get you a lot of points. Latavius Murray, same thing, big back. You know, he'll get you some short yardage carries. He'll get you some touchdowns. Jason Witten may be done. I'd be on the lookout for tight ends on your waiver wire. Because you can do better than Jason Witten. Robinson is a young talent who's only going to get better. Same with Coleman, running back down at Atlanta. If the starter goes down, you can take advantage of Coleman, or he is the starter. But they have 3 different guys in the backfield. Bishop Sankey is Bishop Sankey. Garcon, we've seen the best of Garcon. Gray, he may come into getting more carries with the Fins. The Dolphins' D in special teams is huge. That's a great pick. The defense only got better with Ndamukong Suh at the D-line. Their special teams is very good, so that you're going to want to start the Dolphins' D as much as you want. Justin Tucker is a safe pick for your kicker. He's got a long foot, and he'll have a lot of different opportunities. Lions D, don't ever play the Lions D. Ever, 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 ever. Don't ever play the Lions D unless you have to. Phillip Rivers is an absolute steal. So what this is going to give you is Phillip Rivers and Tony Romo, 2 very, very high-ranked quarterbacks in my mind. Two top 8, 10 quarterbacks in the fantasy world. So overall, I know you said that you're depressed about your team. I would take this team any day of the week, okay? Now, since you got Matt Forte, he's going to be coming out of the backfield. Chicago's down on injury. He's going to see a lot of the workload, whether catching passes out of the backfield or rushing, okay? Des Bryant, like I said, that's a home run right there. These 2 guys are going to carry you for your entire season. So I think you have a very, very solid team. And if you're into fantasy football, if you're a GM, like 99% of my day goes to, okay, you're going to want to work the tight end. You're going to want to work the flex position. Find those guys and pick them up on your roster. But overall, I think you're going to do very well.
All right, James LeBlanc. I got to know Mclovein's thoughts on Arizona wide receiver John Brown. I love the kid's speed and hands, but I'm not loving Carson Palmer's chances of staying healthy. In a 10-team league, should I be drafting him late, 12th round, or just keep an eye on the waivers for him?
Brown I have 2 fantasy teams. He's on both of them. I love him, okay? This guy can stretch the field. He's the fastest receiver they have. He's young. He can get down the field, okay? Larry Fitzgerald is coming to the end of his career, okay? Carson Palmer, also at the end of his career. But when Carson Palmer stays healthy, he's got as good his arm as anyone in the league. His arm has never changed since he was a rookie till now. John Brown's going to catch a lot of passes. He's going to get a lot of yards per yards after catch, yards per catch. I love him. Get him in 12th round would be a steal for me if you could have got him in the 12th round. I don't ever foresee him being on the waiver wire. If he is on the waiver wire, pick him up immediately, okay? If you can get your hands on him, keep him, and he's going to be a star in the NFL.
All right, now we're going to go to emails. Let me just get to my email here. All right. And we're going to figure out here, we got a couple of emails here from people who want to know your thoughts on situations here.
Sure.
All right, so let's go all the way down. And the first email, just want to make sure I don't miss anything. All right, so here we go. Matthew Varnum. Can your friend on Dining Room Discussions please give me his best picks for FanDuel Fantasy Football for Week 1? I've never played fantasy football, given that I only started playing daily fantasy sports in February. Thanks for your help, Matt.
Okay, FanDuel, I also do FanDuel. Actually, I did make a lineup last night. Andy, if you could hand me my phone, if you wouldn't mind, it's charging right now because the battery life is fucking terrible on my phone. Yeah, just rip that baby out of there, okay?
Yeah, 53%.
Okay, yeah, but it's just...
No.
So, my FanDuel team that I created last night, obviously if you guys know about FanDuel, it's awesome. It's a weekly fantasy football thing that you can do. It's easy. Go on, deposit some money, go into a league, whether it's $5, $10, $20, $30, $40. It's always huge payouts. Always huge payouts. I love it. I've been doing FanDuel now for a couple years. All different types of sports. So, the lineup that I did, and you guys can all use this lineup if you want. I do multiple lineups during the week, but this is the one. This is my first FanDuel lineup of the entire year. Okay, just let me get to it. All right, maybe we should go to another question because it's not coming up. Oh, here we go. So log online, FanDuel.com, and same way, you have my email address, Mclovein, MCLOVIN 73323 at mail.com. Okay, if you have any questions and you want some help with your FanDuel lineups, just send them right to me. Okay. Let's see what we got here. So, my upcoming FanDuel lineup is as follows. Okay? My quarterback is Ryan Tannehill. Okay? My running back is LaShawn McCoy. My running back number 2 is Jonathan Stewart. Wide receiver, I have Julio Jones. Wide receiver is Jarvis Landry. My third wide receiver is Kevin White. Okay? Jordan Cameron's my tight end. Dan Bailey is my kicker, and the New York Jets D is my D. Now, you get about $66,000. It's like a salary cap where you can try to fit in the best players that you can. But the biggest thing with FanDuel is you can't go balls out and get the best player at each position. You have to manage your roster with good value at each position. So you can't spend $66,000 on 4 different players. You want to kind of spread that out. So that's just an example right here on my phone. As you can see, that's my FanDuel lineup. And if you want FanDuel questions, I can answer that as well. Just log on to just send me an email and I can help you out.
All right, the next email is Mclovein. It just says Mclovein from Scratch It on YouTube. Hey Andy, Scratch It here. I'm wondering if you and or Mclovein have any fantasy baseball advice. I'm currently only playing in free contests to win Step 1 tickets on DraftKings. I'm unemployed, that's why. I'll have a job starting in October, and I'll be able to invest into DraftKings then, and once that happens, I'd like to know what I'm doing. I've spent hours looking up the pitcher versus hitter stats and all of that, and I'm doing decent on my own, but I'd like to actually know what I'm doing, Tonight I came in 20th out of 5,700 people, so
That's
I know
good.
I can do, yeah.
That's good.
So I know I can do good, but it isn't consistent, and I know there's no guaranteed winning lineup or anything, but I'd like to at least be in the top 20% frequently. If you guys have any advice, it'd be much appreciated. I've been watching your videos for a long time, man. Thanks and good luck with fantasy and scratching away.
Sure. So FanDuel, I also do FanDuel with the baseball, okay?
Well, this is DraftKings, but yeah.
It's the same thing, or DraftKings. FanDuel is one way you can go, or DraftKings the other way. It's 6-1 here, half a dozen on the other, okay? What you're doing is great. What you're going to want to do is you're going to log online, okay? And you're going to type into Google hottest hitters in Major League Baseball. There's a website that will come up. It will give you the top hitters that are hot. You know, and you always want to bet on hot. Always, always. You know, if you're looking at a pool host versus, you know, a first baseman, maybe a little no-name, you can get him at a cheaper price, jump on him, okay? Pitchers. Obviously, there's guys that are so established now that the year's almost over that you can kind of get a feel for how they're going to look, you know, with the whip, whether it's the ERA. Guys from, you know, the guys that are killing it from the Cubs to, you know, Greinke and Kershaw with the Dodgers. The Mets pitchers have been very good. The Cardinals pitchers have been very good. So continue to do what you're doing because what you're doing is working. If you came in 20th, you made a decent, what, 1,000 maybe? 50?
It was a free thing. So
okay.
I don't know if you won anything on that. But.
Just keep it up and know this, that, you know, the more you play, the more you win, okay? Don't get down if you play 10 FanDuel games and you don't win anything, okay? The more you play, the more you win. Now, if you want to go big-time money or you're just trying to have fun, you know, you can stick with the $5, $10 games, enter the big ones and maybe win, you know, a couple thousand, 3,000, 4,000. There's all different ways to work it. There's money management, FanDuel or DraftKings. There's balls out that you just want to bet high and win high. So it's just a combination of different things. I would say continue to do what you're doing. Always get as many of those hot hitters as you can do, okay? The more time you spend on getting your FanDuel or your DraftKings lineups, the better off you're going to be.
All right, now what we're going to do in this next segment is we're going to go into the lines, the spreads for the NFL season, Week 1. Mclovein's going to give you who he would take, and then me and him are just going to do a straight up pick 'em. And we at the end of the season we'll see who wins. We'll see who's higher.
Okay.
Now I'm on oddshark.com and it says opening, and then there's a bunch of different websites like Bovada, Caesars Palace, Las Vegas, Westgate, Las Vegas, Bet Online, MyBookie.ag, 5 Dimes, Top Bet, GT Bets, Bet DSI, Sports Betting, Sportbet, Station Casinos, Mirage Las Vegas, and Win Las Vegas. Which one do we do?
Well,
because they're all different.
You can pick whatever you want. I have my lines here in front of me.
Oh, can I read them then?
Yeah.
All right, good. Well, you need to read. Well, here. All right, I'll read them. You tell you. I'll read them, and then you tell me. You tell everybody which ones you're picking. So first up, and why? First up, we got New England at home against Pittsburgh. And New England is favored by 6.5 or 7. Correct?
Yeah. So with this New England pick, as soon as Tom Brady got cleared to play. And this was a 4.5 for New England. It jumped up to 6.5. I jumped on it immediately. All right, at 6.5. Now I don't know if there's 6.5 still out there, but even if it's 7, take the Pats. Okay, lay the points, take the Pats. They're gonna win. It's important that you keep it at 7 because that half point, that hook, can always come back to fuck you. Okay, so always if you can get at 6.5, giving up the points to win by 7. Jump on it immediately. I think New England with Brady coming out with Gronkowski, they're going to be so fired up over this, you know, the fucking NFL having, you know, witch hunt out for them. They're going to want to prove it to the nation. First game, national television. Pittsburgh's down their best running back, their center. They're down their second best receiver. So it's going to be a hostile environment for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I think in a 4-quarter game, New England's going to eventually outlast them. I think it will be close for the majority of the game, but I think New England's going to throw up a late touchdown plus a late field goal, so they'll win by at least 10.
All right, next game we have is Green Bay at home against Chicago. Oh, no, Green Bay's at Chicago.
Yes.
Green Bay's at Chicago, and Green Bay's favored by 6.5. Who do you pick?
So I got Green Bay minus the 6.5. Aaron Rodgers, I know he's down a couple of his top guys, but, you know, Green Bay always plays well against Chicago. I'm not sold on Jay Cutler. I don't know what he's going to be like the first game out. once again, Green Bay is a squad that can play a 4-quarter game, which Chicago may play 3 good quarters, but they always miss out on 1. Chicago turns the ball over a lot. Green Bay takes care of the ball. Green Bay runs Eddie Lacy, and they still have Randall Cobb. I see this being a close game for the first half, but then Green Bay pulling away at the end, covering the 7 points at a 6.5 line.
Now, here's the thing, folks. Just because he's picking the team to cover the spread doesn't necessarily mean he's picking them to win the entire thing in a pick-em-up. Because a team could still lose, but still cover whatever the spread is.
Correct.
So just to want to let everybody know that there's 2 separate things. This is for picks that are covering the spread. The next game, Jets at Cleveland, or Jets. No, the Browns are at the Jets, correct?
Correct.
All right, the Browns are at the Jets. The Jets are favored by 3.5. Who do you have?
So I took the Jets. Normal Jet fan. Typical Jets. Their starting quarterback gets knocked out by a lineman, a linebacker, breaks his jaw. That shows you how much leadership Geno Smith has in that locker room. 0. But the Jets defense with Revis, they've made a big push to their defense is a lot better than it was last year. They still have Ivory in the backfield. They still have Brandon Marshall out at wideout. I still believe that they outlast Cleveland and they cover the points, 3.5. Take the Jets, lay the 3.5.
All right, next game we have is Seattle at St. Louis. Seattle is favored by 3.5. Who do you have?
So this is going to be a great matchup, okay? I'll tell you why. St. Louis always plays well at home against division opponents. They give the San Francisco 49ers a hard time. They beat Seattle last year at home. St. Louis has a good defense, and they have an offense that is up and coming. Okay, they got a decent running back. Now it's a shitty stadium. Okay, I've been there many times. It's an absolute dump. But when that place gets rocking and rolling, it gets loud in there. All right, Seattle coming off the Super Bowl loss, laying the 3.5 points. I think Seattle's going to want to get going and going to want to take advantage of St. Louis in the first game. I take Seattle minus the 3.5 points over St. Louis.
All right, next pick we have is the Texans at home against Kansas City, and Texans are favored by 1.5.
Okay, so Houston minus 1.5 versus Kansas City. Now, Houston's defensive line, their whole defense is going to be a lot better, okay? You got J.J. Watt, who is arguably the best fucking athlete in this world, never mind the NFL, all right? You got Vince Wilfork up the middle. You're going to have Clowney. I think he's going to play sparingly, but once you get that defensive line going, quarterbacks are going to be on their ass all season long. Houston's at home, which is huge. Kansas City, my boy Alex Smith and Travis Kelce and Jeremy Maclin and Jamal Charles, they're gonna come wanting, they're gonna let Charles run wild, okay? Whether it's in the return game, the passing game, the running game, Kansas City's gonna be a tough team to beat this year. Houston will win this game. I have Houston given 1.5, which means it's a dead even game. I think Houston with the home field. I think Houston with the defense. I think they'll stop Kansas City. Alex Smith is very limited as a quarterback, getting the ball out, big play. So I take Houston minus the 1.5.
All right, the next game, Mclovein, we have is Miami at Washington. Miami is favored 3.5 points.
So I take Miami, and this is one of my locks. This is one of my special picks. Okay, Washington is in a shit load of trouble. They're in a pile of shit. No one likes their quarterback. The quarterback doesn't like the team. One quarterback doesn't even want to be there. They got Cousins in there who's okay. Miami is going to want to come out hot. They got a great defense this year. They got Tannehill. They got some young talent. They got Miller in the backfield. I think Miami's going to piss all over Washington in this game. Lay Miami in the 3.5.
Okay, next game we got is the Colts at Buffalo. The Colts are favored by 2.5.
So this is a great game, okay? This is going to be one of the best games to watch on Sunday. You got Indianapolis, Andrew Luck. They have Andre Johnson. They got Frank Gore coming out of the backfield. They got T.Y. Hilton, okay? They have a high-powered offense. Buffalo has the best defense that they've had in a while under Rex Ryan. Now, Buffalo, LaShawn McCoy's a question mark. Who's going to, if he's going to play or not, or maybe he's on a pitch count. We don't know how many carries he's going to get. Indianapolis is going to go into Buffalo, and it's going to be a close game, okay? It's going to be a high-scoring game. I also have the over in the total, over 45 points, plus Indianapolis. I think they're going to be too strong for Buffalo. I'm still questioning how many carries McCoy's going to get. That scares me. I'm taking Indianapolis Colts. I'm taking Andrew Luck minus the 2.5. They'll win by a field goal at least.
All right, next game on the agenda, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars at home against the Carolina Panthers. Jacksonville's favored by 3.5.
So, I took Jacksonville plus the points, okay? Now, with a spread, anytime you see a spread, if it's just 3 points and the home team is favored by 3 points, that's home field is always 3 points in the NFL betting world.
I might have misread that. Jacksonville's the underdog by 3.5?
Jacksonville's the underdog.
All right, let me go back here because I think I misread. So when it's minus, it means they're favored.
Yes.
When it's plus, it means they're the underdog.
Correct.
So it's the only. All right. So it's the only one I fucked up. It's the first one that was plus.
No, you're in.
All right. So Carolina's favored at home by 3.5 over Jacksonville.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay. Now I'm taking Jacksonville with the points. I'm very excited for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yes, I'm saying this out loud. I'm very excited for this Jacksonville Jaguars team. They got a great head coach. He's very smart. They're putting in place. They got some young talent at running back, young talent at wide receiver, young talent at quarterback. It's only eventual that Jacksonville's going to come out of their shell. I think they start here week 1, and they take the points, and we're going to take the points and go with the Jacksonville Jaguars over the Carolina Panthers, who is down their best receiver. Cam Newton is, he's always a shake your head type of quarterback. Take Jacksonville Jaguars plus the points.
All right, next game on the docket. San Diego Chargers at home against the Lions. Chargers are favored by 2.5.
So, San Diego, Phillip Rivers is going to have a monster year. Okay, Keenan Allen's going to have a comeback year. The new Melvin Gordon, they got all the pieces in the right place. Now, Phillip Rivers has a point to prove this year. He has a point to prove, and I think San Diego is going to wipe the floor with Detroit. Now, if Calvin Johnson goes crazy and Matt Stafford doesn't throw an interception, it could go the other way. But as far as betting-wise, I take San Diego, and I have them winning by at least a field goal.
Okay, next up we have the Arizona Cardinals at home against the Saints. The Cardinals are favored by 2.5.
So, Arizona, who is my sleeper pick to make the Super Bowl this year, okay? That's how good they can be. Arizona has had 2 or 3 great years in that NFC West. They've just been overshadowed by the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks the last couple of years. So it's been a tough fight for them. This is the best division in football, in my opinion, with Seattle, St. Louis, and Arizona. Arizona versus New Orleans. New Orleans is on the downslide. Drew Brees is seeing his better days. I think Arizona wins this game by 10, 12, 15 points. And so take Arizona, lay the 2.5.
All right, the next game up is the Tennessee Titans at the Buccaneers at Tampa Bay. Tennessee is the underdog by 3.5 points.
So I'm taking the Titans with the points, okay? Tampa Bay has a young talent, new rookie quarterback, and Tennessee will as well. I like Tennessee. I like their 53-man roster better than I like Tampa Bay's. I think Tennessee is well coached. They have great special teams. They also have a decent defense. I think they're going to give Tampa Bay fits. So I take Tennessee plus the points.
All right, next up we have the Baltimore Ravens at the Denver Broncos. Baltimore is the underdog by 4.5.
So I took the dog again in this one. I took Baltimore plus the 4.5. This is going to be a phenomenal game. Okay, Denver obviously with Peyton Manning back for hopefully it's his last year. I can't stand watching that guy play quarterback anymore. I fucking hate Peyton Manning. Okay, but he still has C.J. Anderson in the backfield, who is a big play back. He can still has Emmanuel Sanders, so he's still got some decent talent. I like the Ravens to come in there and shut them down completely on offense. I think Baltimore is going to be Baltimore again this year. They haven't made any big moves, but I take Baltimore plus the points. So take Baltimore plus the 4.5 at Denver.
All right, next game we have is the Cincinnati Bengals at the Oakland Raiders, and Cincinnati is favored by 3.5.
I'm jumping all over the Bengals on this one. I think Oakland's going to have another long year. All I see is question marks out there. I see a lot of talent with a lot of question marks. This Oakland team, can go whichever way they want to go, and unfortunately, it's always down. They always find a way to fuck themselves. They always find a way to lose. Cincinnati, Andy Dalton, AJ Green, the best, over the last 5-6 years, the most touchdowns between a quarterback and a wide receiver. And with Jeremy Hill in the backfield, they're gonna beat Oakland. They're gonna beat Oakland handily. So I take Cincinnati minus the 3.5.
All right, next game up, we have on Sunday Night Football the Dallas Cowboys at home against the Giants.
Correct.
The Giants are favored.
No.
Oh, the Dallas is
favored.
I'm an idiot. Dallas is favored by 5.5.
So this is another one.
To say, fucking the Giants favored in Dallas, but anyway.
This is one of my locks. This is my second lock. Okay, Dallas minus 5.5 against the Giants. Jump all over this one, guys. It's going to be Sunday Night Football. Dallas with Romo and Bryant and whoever they have in the backfield. The Giants, Eli Manning, is a good to average. They never play well in Dallas. They just don't. And coming week 1, I think Dallas is going to beat them by at least 10 points. Dallas minus the points, and that's one of my special picks that, I can almost guarantee that's going to be a win.
All right. And on Monday Night Football,
the first game
on Monday Night Football, we got the Eagles at the Falcons, and the Falcons are the underdog by 3.5.
Sure, yeah. I took Philly. Philly going to Atlanta and winning that game. They're laying the 3.5. Okay, with the 3 point for home field, it's more like they're laying 6.5. I think they're going to win by at least a touchdown. I'm taking Philly over Atlanta on the road. Monday Night Football. I think that game starts at 6:55 Eastern Time. Monday night.
Football. And then you got. I should have done that for the Dallas Giants game, because you know who's going to be sitting there up at night Sunday night eating pizza and eating everything, going football.
Big shit.
Yeah. Giants. I'm exhausted. The 49ers and the Vikings. Second game on Monday Night Football. In my opinion, one of the worst games of the week. San Francisco is the underdog. Minnesota's a favorite. Yeah. Minnesota's a favorite by 2.5 at home over the 49ers.
Now, this is a big game. Adrian Peterson returning after whipping the shit out of his kid for a year and a half. Okay. So, going into San Francisco, all right? Those are all my folks live out there in San Francisco. I'm taking San Francisco plus the points. It's Monday Night Football. Minnesota, they have. We'll see with them. Teddy Bridgewater, Kaepernick's due for a great game. I'm taking San Francisco plus the 2.5. I'm taking San Francisco to win the game outright.
All right, so those are Mclovein's spread picks. Now what we're going to do is this. This is exciting. I just thought of this. It's my channel, so fuck, I can do whatever the hell I want. Here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. And only comments on this video will be valid entries. Here's what we're going to do, okay? If one of you misses an entry, you're disqualified for the whole season.
Okay.
Okay? Right now, me and Mclovein are going to go just into a straight pick'em. Who do you think's going to win? Forget points, forget over and unders, forget all that shit. We're just going to go, who do you think's going to win, with a brief description of why. We're going to go right down the list, okay? And then in the comment section below, tell us who you think's going to win each game.
Okay.
Straight pick'em.
Okay.
At the end of the season, we'll figure out the standings. That's why you have to be 17 weeks in a row. You have to be. If one of you doesn't answer, I don't care if you forgot. I don't care if you were sick. Doesn't matter. You're fucking disqualified. So here's how it works. We're going to have a prize pool. Whoever beats Mclovein is going to win $100.
I like it.
For free, for doing nothing, for just picking fucking teams.
Exactly.
Whoever beats McLovin's going to win $100, okay? And then if 3 people or more end up beating McLovin, there'll be $300 for the first place winner, $200 for the second place winner, $100 for the third place winner. Get a PayPal account. I will send it directly through PayPal. That way there's no shenanigans. Everybody knows what the hell's going on. Okay, is PayPal worldwide?
Yeah, I use PayPal all the time.
Yeah, so if somebody lives in fucking the UK, or somebody, we have a lot of fans in the UK for Scratch Ticket Thursdays and stuff like that. So here's how it's going to work. Once again, no emails are allowed. Don't comment on any other video. It's only on Fantasy Football Wednesdays with Mclovein, okay? If you guys end up winning and beating McLovin at the end of the year, whoever has a better record, okay, then you're going to win $100. And if there's 3 people that win, 300, 200, 100, the top 3 people, okay? 3 people max. I doubt anyone will, but we'll see. So, New England home against Pittsburgh, who do you have?
New England.
Okay, why?
Oh, I just think that, Brady, like I said, Brady's going to come out firing all cylinders. Gronk and Brady, Edelman. I just think that Pittsburgh has their hands full. Pittsburgh is down a couple of key guys on injury. And the fact that after all this bullshit that the NFL has put us through, from the playoffs last year to pretty much the first week of 2015, they're just going to come out and they're just going to whip out their dicks and they're going to piss all over them. I
have New England for pretty much the same reason that Mclovein just said. Next game, Green Bay at Chicago.
Green Bay, Chicago. Green Bay is going to win this game, no doubt. Aaron Rodgers is after the way they lost against Seattle last year in the playoffs, absolutely just kicking the shit out of them and then finding a way to lose at the end. They're going to come out. They're going to start high. I think Green Bay is going to win a lot of games this year. I think they're going to go 12-4, 13-3, and their first win will be against Chicago.
Well, I have Green Bay. I think it's going to be a lot closer game than you'd expect. Chicago's defense is still pretty poor. However, Green Bay lost Jordy Nelson for the season. Do I think it's going to be a blowout? No. I actually, if they had Jordy Nelson, I'd say so. Even though they have Eddie Lacy and all that shit, they're going to be in Chicago, but it doesn't matter because Green Bay's colder than Chicago. So the deal, and I lived in Illinois for a while. Yeah. So the deal is, I have Green Bay winning, but I think it's going to be a pretty close game. Maybe 9 points or less.
Okay.
Just, whatever. We'll see. Jets at home against Cleveland. Who do you have?
I think the Jets will win that game. It's going to be close. It's going to be close just because you don't know what you're going to get. Those are 2 sloppy football teams that can be very sloppy at times. This could be a 6-3 game, okay? This could also be a 33-31 game. Who fucking knows what team's going to come out? I think Jets, solely based on the home field, I think that's why they'll get the win.
All right, I'm going to go with Cleveland in this one. The Jets still don't have a quarterback, in my opinion. Who's your starter? It's not Geno Smith, is it?
No, it's
some weird guy they picked up.
I think.
Brian Fitzpatrick. Yeah, so. I don't think the Jets have any weapons offensively. Defense is very good. Defense is very good. Forget Revis. It was good before Revis. It just made it better. I just have a feeling it's going to be a hard-fought, sloppy, like you said, 9-6 game.
Yeah.
Field goal city, and I think Cleveland's going to pull this out on the road. I do not think the Jets are going to win. So this is where we differ so far.
Okay.
Seattle at St. Louis. Who do you have?
Seattle.
I have Seattle too. Pretty easy to explain. Yeah. St. Louis is going to be interesting, though, this year with Nick Foles. In my opinion, I think maybe you can explain why. Why on earth did the Eagles trade Foles for Bradford? I think that is the stupidest trade, and I know maybe it was a behind-the-scenes thing to try to woo Murray away from Dallas because they played together in college, but I think it's the stupidest trade in the history of life. What do you think?
I like the trade.
Okay.
This is why. I like the trade for getting rid of Foles and getting Bradford in return.
Okay.
For one of the biggest reason is why Bradford, just get him the fuck out of St. Louis. Nothing right. He's always hurt. He goes down in week 1. This guy's a #1 pick with a lot of talent. Now, Nick Foles was inherited by Chip Kelly, okay? He never liked Foles. So when he had the opportunity to get rid of him and bring Sam Bradford in with a whole new scenery, flat start, okay? We're just going from here. I like the move. I like Stafford versus Foles. we'll see. Neither quarterback.
You mean Bradford versus Foles?
What I
said
said?
Stafford.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bradford versus Foles. Neither quarterback's going to get you a win in the playoffs. Neither quarterback's going to win your fucking Super Bowl. But I believe that I'd rather have Bradford than
See, one of the things I noticed about Foles, and I follow the Eagles closely, and the only reason I do is because of EDP445 on YouTube. Check his channel out. There's over 40,000 subscribers. He's hilarious. He's a diehard Eagles fan that lives in Bakersfield, California. He's been on Tosh.0 a couple times and things of that nature. When LaShawn McCoy got traded, there was a huge rant that he put up that they actually saw on some show, LaShawn McCoy watching this guy's reaction to him getting traded. Oh, yeah. He's gigantic. He's hilarious. But anyway, the long and short of it is, I think Foles is a pretty good game management quarterback, and you don't see a lot of that right now.
No.
Brady's one of them. But really, Foles is up there, and to trade a guy with potential like Bradford, if you had to put Bradford and Foles side by side, who's better? Well, it's Bradford.
He's got a better arm.
It's Bradford, sure. He's got a better arm. He's like you look at Sam Bradford and you think, okay, power offense, high scoring offense with Sam Bradford at the helm, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The problem is he's injured. Every year he's injured. He's injured. Now, will a change of scenery help? Who the fuck knows? But the bottom line is I don't trade a guaranteed guy with a ridiculous winning percentage for a guy that's been injured with all the potential in the world. Just don't do it, in my opinion. That's not why I'm a general manager of the football team. Neither is Chip Kelly, however, but when they fired Howie Roseman or got rid of him or whatever the fuck happened with Howie Roseman, Chip Kelly now has more say in what goes on with Eagles personnel.
Chip Kelly's pretty much running the show out there. I've met Chip Kelly a couple times. Former University of New Hampshire offensive coordinator, so he's from the Northeast. He has Northeast ties. Went out to Oregon, came up with this offense, and now, in order for Kelly's offense, he needs his guys, and he's been a lot. Now it's on him. Now, Chip, you got your guys. Okay, let's see if you can win games now. Let's see if you can get into the playoffs and win a playoff game, because you're one of the highest paid coaches in the NFL. Now it's time to show it. Okay, and I'm sick of Philly fans always saying this and that. Just fucking win games. It's the only thing that matters.
Next game, Houston Texans at home against Kansas City. Who do you have?
Houston.
Interesting pick. I'm going to go with Kansas City on this one. Okay. Alex Smith, another very, very good game management quarterback. Yeah. Great, but one of the best running backs in the NFL when healthy.
Charles.
Pretty good defense. Not great, but Houston really doesn't have an offense, in my opinion. So
well, right now they got Alfred Blue. They got Brian Hoyer.
See, Brian Hoyer, in my opinion, is terrible.
He is.
Terrible. And in this game, with Kansas City probably running the ball, now here's the thing. If Jamal Charles can't run the ball, they're fucked.
Yes.
They have to be able to run the ball. If they can't, forget it. Houston will win. But in my opinion, I think Kansas City's going to pull this one out.
It's going to be a great game. And that's why the spread is so close, is that the Vegas thinks this is going to be a down-to-the-wire game.
Miami on the road against Washington. Who do you have?
Miami.
Interesting. This could really fuck me this game. I'm going to pick Washington. I think Kirk Cousins is a pretty good quarterback. Does he make mistakes? Yes, he does. But he can also throw with the best of them. 400, 500 yards a game. 300, 400 yards a game. But the deal is this. Miami has a pretty good offense. Miami has a pretty good defense. I think with what's going on in Washington, with the fact that Robert Griffin III is now the backup, and Kirk Cousins has been the backup to him for a lot of years, I think Kirk Cousins is finally saying, fuck you. Now look, let's see what I can do. I'm going to show you what I fucking can do.
And everybody in Washington, all the fans, the entire team, the management, all wants Cousins.
Yep.
No one wants RG3. They said just cut him, get rid of him, but then it looks, really bad, even worse than. I like Miami for a couple different reasons. I think Miami, Tannehill, this is his first time out of the, getting out of the season, and he's going to go nuts. I think they got a better running game than Alfred Morris and Miller. I think they have better wideouts. They can stretch the field. And I think bottom line, like you just said, Miami has a better defense. I think Miami will win this game.
All right, and I pick Washington on this one, okay? Indianapolis on the road against the Bills.
Indianapolis, I like them better from top to bottom. Like I said, it's a 4-quarter game. LaShawn McCoy is still questionable, and he's just going to remain questionable, which means if he does play, he's only going to see 12, 14, maybe 15 carries, okay? That's if he plays. He's still questionable, which means 50-50. Maybe the Bills say, fuck it. Why risk him in game 1 when we need him for the other 15 games? So that right there, and I think Andrew Luck is he's only getting better. And he's got Andre Johnson, he's got Frank Gore coming out of the backfield. He still has T.Y. Hilton to stretch the field, Kobe Fleener. Okay, they still have a decent offensive line. Now, if Indianapolis' defense does not show up, then it's a crapshoot. But I think Indianapolis will win this game on scoring points alone.
I think Indianapolis will also win scoring points alone. I always said that the Bills had a makeup of a really, really, really good team if they only could get a quarterback. And sort of like the Jets for a lot of years, if they can only get a quarterback. The Bills, this is their starters, the rookie that they drafted, correct? Or
yes.
He's been there for 3 years, one of the two.
No,
they just drafted him.
Yeah.
All right, he's a starter. E.J. Manuel's the third string, and then they just re-signed Matt Castle to be the backup.
Yep.
In my opinion, I think Castle should get the start. I don't know much about this guy, but in my opinion, Indianapolis is going to win sorely based on the fact that I still don't think Buffalo has a quarterback. Even though they drafted a guy, let's see what he can do. Who knows? He could throw for 900 million yards this season. I doubt it. Indianapolis is my pick. Jacksonville at home against Carolina.
Now, this is going to be a tough game to watch. I'm not going to lie to you. Jacksonville and Carolina is not one of those games you're going to have highlighted next to your program for the day. All right. Now, the only people that are going to be watching Jacksonville against Carolina are Jacksonville fans, Carolina fans, or people that have a lot of money on that game. Okay. So I'm taking Jacksonville just because I think Jacksonville is going to get out finally. It's almost been 20 years since they've been relevant for anything. I think this is the year, and I think they started off Carolina. I don't trust Carolina. I don't trust Cam Newton. I just never put any trust in Carolina. Now, Jacksonville is not the San Francisco 49ers from the 1980s, but I think Jacksonville walks away with this win.
I think Carolina blows them out at home. Carolina's going to rape them. Jacksonville still sucks. You're right about Cam Newton being, God one week and worse than Brian Hoyer the next. But the bottom line is, in my opinion, I think Carolina destroys them at home. Next game, San Diego at home against the Lions. Who do you have?
San Diego, I think, at home is a different team. Playing in that sun, playing in that atmosphere, and just that San Diego's field is so bad. It's the worst field in the NFL. It's just a pile of shit. But they like to play in that pile of shit down in San Diego, and God bless them, But I just think Detroit is Detroit. This is going to be a high-scoring affair. I'd look for the over in this game as well. I think it's going to be talent versus talent. I just think that San Diego is just a better team, and at home, once again, if it comes down to I'm always taking the home team, always.
All right, I'm going to pick San Diego. I think it also is going to be a high-scoring affair. I think San Diego will pull out with a 7 or 10-point win, though. But as far as high-scoring affair, meaning both teams putting on the points.
Yeah.
San Diego's defense is pretty shitty.
So are the Lions.
Yeah. Arizona at home against the Saints.
Arizona, like I said before, they're my sleeper pick to make the Super Bowl this year. I think that they're one of the most well-rounded teams in the NFL. They're well coached. If Carson Palmer's, he's a big question mark, just like every other fucking quarterback in this league. You need a quarterback. Carson Palmer can win a Super Bowl. He's one of those guys that can win a Super Bowl if healthy. It's a 16-game season, so we'll see. Andre Ellington, I love him coming out of the backfield. Brown and Fitzgerald, and they can, especially at home. I've been to Arizona many times in that, in the, University of Phoenix Stadium, whatever. They play well at home. And I think the Saints, like I said, the Saints are on the way down. I think the Saints are going to be under 500 this year, so I take Arizona.
I think I'm going to take Arizona as well. If it wasn't for Carson Palmer's injury and they start Ryan Lindley in a fucking playoff game, who the Patriots just cut, by the way, because he's garbage. Garbage.
Yes.
He's awful. I think Tim Tebow's better than Ryan Lindley. But, and then again, it's just my opinion.
Tim Tebow can't throw a football.
Yeah, well, Ryan Lindley can't throw a football.
Well, he can throw a football.
He can throw a football normally, but he still can't throw it. I'm going to pick Arizona in this one. Tennessee at Tampa Bay.
Tennessee at Tampa Bay.
This is a terrible game.
It's going to be a tough game to watch. I mean, it's another tough game to watch, but we're football fans, and I'll watch any football game that's out there if I have to. And if I have to watch this game, I'd watch it. I think Tennessee is going to win the game, okay? And that's just from me being more trust. I don't trust Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is going to have to show me that they're up and coming. Tampa Bay is going to have to prove to me that they're worthy of a win. I think Tennessee wins, more of like a process of elimination. Two bad football teams. I think it's like being a smart kid in a dumb row, or you don't sweat too much for a fat broad. It's like backhanded compliment. I think Tennessee is going to win.
Tennessee, I also have winning this game. Baltimore at Denver. Who do you have?
I think Baltimore is going to win this game. I know I'm going out on a limb. I think the Ravens are going to go in there and beat them. I don't trust Denver. I think Denver's lost a lot of parts. Okay, they lost their offensive coordinator, who's a good friend of mine. He's no longer there. Peyton, is Peyton. He's a year older. Who knows which neck's going to come out this time. I take Baltimore going in there with the upset on the road. I'm
going to take Denver in this one. I don't think Baltimore's offense, even though they piled on a shit ton of points against the Pats in that week one, in that playoff game, the first round of the playoffs, or the second round of the playoffs, you know what I mean?
Yep.
The divisional round, right? Yeah. I'm taking Denver. Cincinnati at Oakland, another terrible game to watch.
Yes, definitely Cincinnati. Like I said before about Oakland, you don't expect anything, and usually when you don't expect anything from Oakland, they're going to be bad anyway. So if you expect them to be bad, they're going to be bad. If you don't expect anything, they're going to be bad. If you expect them to be good, they're still going to be bad. So I take Cincinnati.
Take Cincinnati in that. Dallas at home against the Giants.
Dallas all the way. Yep. No question about it.
Yep. Football!
Dallas all the way.
Dallas all the way in that as well. Philly at Atlanta.
Philly on the road. I think they'll outlast Atlanta. Then Philly plays well in that building, so I think Philly will win.
Yeah, I'm going to take Philly. And the last game, San Francisco at home against Minnesota.
San Francisco.
I'm taking Minnesota.
Yeah.
I think, and here's why. Some of the rumors were that the players didn't like and didn't want to play for John Harbaugh.
They didn't.
Okay, fine. However, if the reason why the 49ers struggled to score points towards the end of last year, struggled.
Yeah, it was
because of Harbaugh, then San Francisco is going to rate Minnesota. If the reason why they struggled to score points was because Kaepernick is overrated,
yes,
which I believe to be true,
he is very overrated.
I take Minnesota. I think Bridgewater's underrated, and
he's limited right now. Though he's very limited as a quarterback. Still hasn't gotten enough. The confidence will come. Okay, the guy can still. He's a solid quarterback. He's a guy that's going to protect the ball. He's not going to turn the ball over. I think the wild factor is Peterson. If Peterson fucking runs wild, this is going to be an absolute shit show. Okay, so I take San Francisco just because they're at home and it's an even. It's a pick 'em. So that's why I take San Francisco. Honestly, I haven't really got a feel for Minnesota, so we don't even know what team's going to show up. But San Francisco at home, I take San Francisco. But I could see Minnesota. Just because of the best player in the field, which is Adrian Peterson.
I don't think Minnesota's just going to win just because of Adrian Peterson. I think Minnesota's going to win because I think San Francisco's anemic offense is going to carry over from last year. I really do. And I don't think they've gotten any better. They lost Frank Gore. Okay. Yep. A couple people retired due to health reasons.
Well, they lost their whole defense. They lost Alden Smith, who fucked up again. Yep. They lost Ray McDonald, who's probably banging some broad in a closet somewhere. They lost Justin Smith. They lost Patrick Smith, or Patrick Willis, I'm sorry. So they're going downhill fast, and it's unfortunate because they had a couple shots to win the Super Bowl.
Yep. But again, I'm going to pick Minnesota in this one. So these are the picks for the week, okay? Again, here's what I want everyone to do. I know Mclovein told everybody to email him any questions or comments that you need help with. I prefer you not to, only because we need show material for the following week. So, email Mclovein if you want his help gambling.
Yes.
Mclovein, specifically gambling, like you're actually going to put money on the games.
Yes.
Okay. FanDuel questions and everything else we will do on Wednesdays on the show. Any advice on your fantasy team, we will do Wednesdays on the show. Yep. Starting, sit 'em. Who do I draft if you're a week late, whatever the case may be.
Sure.
The deal is we'll do all that stuff on Wednesday. So here's how this is going to work. Gambling advice only. Not counting FanDuel. If you're going to Vegas, who do I bet?
Yep.
Okay.
If you guys want to make money, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. If you want to consistently have a nice little chunk of cash coming in every week or every month, just my program is 100% golden locked. I'll give you 55% to 60% winners. Anything over 50% is an automatic dollar value in the right direction. Whether it's units, whether it's dollars, I'm going to make your money. All those questions, if you want to jump on, like I said, that free offer starting tonight, or tomorrow, I'll give you a week for free picks, okay? Then it's your decision whether you want to keep on doing it your way or you want to listen to Mclovein and make money, okay?
All right. So email him for that. As far as who should I start, any general fantasy questions about any sport, comment on this video only or email me at andyvhb@aol.com. We will read your stuff on the air. As far as a contest for the end of the season, it's you against Mclovein. Email or comment only on this video. Do not email me. Comment only on this video with your picks every week. If you miss a week, you're disqualified. Okay? And then, again, here's how it'll work. Whoever beats Mclovein, $100. If 3 people end up beating Mclovein, first place $300, second place $200, third place $100. I will PayPal you directly, so get a PayPal account. Well, I don't have a PayPal account. Well, then fucking figure it out.
It's easy.
It takes 2 seconds.
It takes 2
Otherwise,
seconds.
you don't get no monies. So it'd behoove you, if you want the football monies, to maybe, create a PayPal account so you can get said football monies. All right. Now, welcome to the first annual...
this is history today.
This is history, man.
This is history.
It's history. Remember to tune in tomorrow for Dining Room Discussions number 5, as well as Scratch Ticket Thursday number 20. We are at our 20th Scratch Ticket Thursday. We did some Scratch Ticket videos beforehand.
Okay.
But this is the 20th episode starting tomorrow. Kenny will be back.
Nice.
And we will be doing that. So Dining Room Discussions number 5 tomorrow, Scratch Ticket Thursday number 20 tomorrow. Remember, only comment on this video for fantasy football or sports in general. And email me at andyvhb@aol.com. One thing I want to do before we get off the air. You've read your email twice.
Yes.
With different spellings each time. One time you had an E in there, and I said, well, wait a minute. Then the last time you read it, there was no... You forgot to drop the E, but now I'm looking at your paper, and it looks like there is an E. Is that correct?
Yes. M-C-L-O-V-E, love, I-N, in. M-C-L-O-V-E-I-N, 73323 at mail.com.
So I'm going to read this again. It's Mclovein with an E. So MC, the word love, the word in, 73323 at mail.com. Email him if you want to take part in his gambling program. Where literally people at our job, I know, and I didn't know this before, but I've heard through the grapevine and things, because we can't really talk about that there, they've done really well. So I'm going to go with you immediately, see if I can win some monies, to start off, and we'll see what happens. This will be awesome. And email him specifically for that. But also stay tuned to every Wednesday through football season, to go over our picks of the week and our discussions on every week's play and what has happened in NFL news and stuff like that. So guys, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. You know the drill. We will see you next Wednesday with 1 week of NFL action in the books.
Good night, guys.